Good evening, everybody. Welcome tonight to our school holiday live session. We'll give everybody a moment to join us. But firstly, let me introduce our very beautiful model, Kiara. Kiara, do you want to say hello to everyone?
Hi.
Now, Kiara, how old are you?
I'm 8 years old.
8 years old. And what happened in your world today? Something crazy happened.
I went to the berry park and...
Oh, no. Something happened in your mouth. What?
Oh, I lost a tooth.
She lost a tooth today. So after she has this late night adventure, she's got to quickly get home before the tooth fairy comes to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I hope that we've got lots of wonderful people joining us tonight that have got curly-haired children, or maybe, yeah, I can see that. Kiara just saw that her dad joined. It's very exciting. But yeah, so hopefully people are joining tonight, and you yourself have people that have curly hair and are wishing to understand what to do better with curls. Now, one of the other things about Kiara's hair, I'm just going to turn it to the side, give you guys a better look, is she has really quite fine hair, and it tangles very easily, doesn't it, Kiara?
Yeah.
So, Auntie Bonnie is here too. There you go. So, one of the good things in talking through Kiara's hair type tonight and what we would do for a junior curly, there are so many tips in what we're going to go through tonight that will apply to anybody on here that possibly struggles with that fine, really tangly kind of struggle to get multiple days of styling out of your curls. We're going to answer a lot of your questions. So make sure if you have any questions that you would fire them away in this chat, and we will get into this. Now, I'm going to ask Kiara's lovely mother to come up and join us for a second. She's very willing. Very, very willing. Gabby, I'll watch this later for hints. That's wonderful. Now, I'll introduce you to Abby. This is one of my girlfriends, and she's a good sport and coming to hang out with us tonight. But I just wanted to ask you, Abby, what do you normally use on Kiara's hair when you style her curls?
So of a morning before school, we use more of the cruise control. But if like on weekends and if we need a little bit more control, we use the oomph.
The two products together?
Yeah, the two products. So the cruise control and the oomph as well.
Okay. And if it was a more formal occasion, or you wanted it to, I know that we were chatting earlier, you sometimes use
the POW.
Yeah.
So the POW we just find holds her hair for a longer period of time, and like for a little bit more firm as well.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
If we're going out.
So obviously because of Kiara's age, you can understand she goes to school. Yes. You don't have to name your school on the camera. And so what happens is, obviously, Abby, when she styles Kiara's hair, she needs to be able to pull it back, or, you know, Kiara's putting hats on and off, doing all that sort of stuff. So one of the things they need is flexibility and style, and ease of being able to refresh it the next morning when she's slept, or that kind of thing. So if Kiara was, say, 15 and she was just wearing her hair out all the time and wanted it to hold its shape and its curl better, that would be when she would probably just go straight in with the cruise control and the POW, because that is going to give such better strength of hold. Whereas for flexibility of hold and ease of kind of brushing and restyling the next morning, Abby's choice is normally definitely always the cruise control with a bit of oomph. So just to give you guys a bit of an understanding, tonight I'm going to use the POW and cruise control. I'm going to show you how to gain some really great control and definition. Now, Kiara, quick question for you. What do you love most about your curly hair?
That it's different.
Yeah? Do you like that it gets tangly?
No.
No, but you love how different it makes you look?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to show you at the end how gorgeous her curls are. She has golden ringlets and look, she had a yawn. It's late at night. Now, we are going to start applying products. So I've washed Kiara's hair just down in our basin. So I'm just re-dampening down her hair to wake her up. Now, in tighter curl hair, so last week when I styled, or last time we were on and I styled my own hair, I did it in soaking wet hair. Now in Kiara's, you can kind of get away with damp styling because nothing's going to remove the amount of curl in her hair. So dripping wet hair isn't essential when you're styling somebody that is in that more type 3 curl group. So I am not going to worry about making sure that her hair is soaking wet. Now I'm going to flip Kiara around, twist her around. So all I've done is section her straight through the middle. And this is the routine that we do online. It's called the mini routine. Just took me a moment to think then. So first up, now, Abby, do you want to come and just confirm if this is the same kind of amount of product you would use?
Oh, yeah.
Do you use more than that?
I did until I realised I was using probably a little bit too much.
Okay. So, this is probably about a 10 center. Now, bear in mind, Kiara does swim a lot and lives a good child fun-filled life, so she needs a little bit of extra hydration in there because she's going to play, she's going to be a child. But yeah, making sure if you use a lot more, you would only need to do that if the hair was a lot coarser or drier. And if the hair was quite healthy and didn't catch a lot, didn't tangle a lot, then you could use a bit less. So just so you're aware of how much to use. Now we're grabbing our favorite hairbrush. Is that right, Kiara?
Yeah.
And we are just now distributing through our cruise control. Now I did have to get through some very big tangles in Kiara's hair in the basin. What do you normally wash Kiara's hair with, Abby?
We use your Nourish and Flourish.
The shampoo and conditioner?
Yeah.
I used the Drench and Quench mask, the rich conditioner on Kiara's hair tonight just because it was very, very extra tangly from a day of playing in the school holidays. But for general use, the Nourish and Flourish conditioner is plenty enough when you have fine hair. Now, does anybody have any questions they want to hit me with, tips for fine hair or things that they maybe struggle with? Feel free to throw them up on the camera. I have a mother here that has a daughter with fine hair and myself here, and I'm sure that we can answer any frustrating questions you have about. Good twirling around there. Now, I've got really nice consistency here in my curl clumps. So if we were not really bothering what we were up to, you could just leave the cruise control to dry. It does have a light amount of hold. I would say 70% moisture, 30% hold. So it's a really soft, workable hold, but it does have that greater amount of hydration. So now we're going in with our Stronghold gel. Now, a fun fact, I'm opening a new one here. A fun fact, we have been getting a few different reviews about the POW Stronghold gel of late. And one lady messaged and left a little review saying, I don't think I would call it a stronghold gel. And she said it only becomes a stronghold gel for her when she layers it with other products to give that really strong cast and control to her curls. So if you have fine hair and you normally use a soft gel and you're worried about the words in the description of POW being stronghold gel, don't be so afraid. It is a stronger hold gel. However, it is created to be diverse and able to be worked in multiple hair types. So it isn't a crunchy, can't move your hair kind of gel. So you should give it a go, is what I'm trying to say. Now, in the POW, I used about 3 pumps per side. Probably more like 2.5, because the first pump I didn't really get a proper grip. And you can see I started working the product through from the ends and mid-lengths first. And then I've come up around the hairline, because most parents of children would know that kids get all these little baby hairs all around their hairline. So I'm just raking through and really making sure I got my product application really well on those hairline pieces. And the other piece is that little nape area. We'll turn Kiara around. She's reading all of your comments and who's watching. That's what her cute little face is. So I'm really making sure I'm getting into this nape area. This section will always get the knottiest if you have mid to long length hair, just purely because your hair is always, heads are always turning, and you always have kind of some kind of a fabric normally on the back of you. So just that friction of turning makes curly hair continually twist and intertwine and almost get a bit dreadlocky. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my flexi brush and just really concentrate on number 1. You can see I'm really lifting my brush strokes up in the air. But number 2, I'm really just checking that I've gotten all of those tangles out, and I'm really working at trying to create consistent curl clumps in Kiara's hair. Whoop. It's a spinny stool. Now, if it looks messy when it's wet, and if you can see little tangles when it's wet, that is the time. Now is the time you can fix it. Once Kiara's hair is dried, you don't brush curly hair when it's dry. So if you can see tangles or fuzz or little baby knots, you want to deal with them now, not later, because you'll lose all of your hard work. Now, if you were desiring to have a family photo shoot and you wanted your child's hair to look extremely picture perfect, one thing you could do is just dampen your hands and go through and just take small clumps at a time, and you just kind of grab it in the mid-length like so. I've just raked it through. Grab it and just give it a little shimmy, and it will just set really nice, kind of clean, perfect curl clumps. Great if you know you need to bother. If Kiara was just going for a play in the backyard and she just had a swim, I would just not bother with this kind of thing. But it's nice to know some tips of if you did want a few pieces to look extra special. This was one of the things you could do. Now, with Kiara's hair, I could literally just leave her hair like this, and it would just dry ever so perfectly. But today I'm going to show you how I would diffuse fine hair and how I try and not disturb and make too much fluff as I'm drying it. I don't know if any of you fine head curlies out there find that sometimes you just create more fluff when you're diffusing. So let me give you some tips as I grab our diffuser. So on finer hair, I'm always going to work with a slightly lower fan speed. So I'm going mid-fan with low heat. So on my own hair, I go high fan and kind of mid to low heat. But I'm dropping the fan and the heat right down for Kiara. And to start with, I'm literally just going to be doing our hover technique. So the hover is to help set the products and to get that nice definition. Let the curls just start to find their place. Because Kiara's hair is a true type 3 curl, I don't actually have to tell it to be curly. I don't have to do so much up diffusing, which is going to make her hair look frizzier. So a lot more hover diffusing is great when you're starting. Now, have I got any questions? Nobody's sent in any questions yet. Awesome. So a good idea, I know when I was talking with Kiara and Abby before, is for them they normally wash, is it once a week, Kiara?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once a week, Kiara will normally get her hair washed, and that's plenty for a child, unless they've, you know, been swimming lots or who knows what, but once a week is plenty for washing children's hair, and it's plenty for washing curly hair as well. So the other days in between, we're going to ask, when the dryer turns off, we're going to talk through what Kiara or Abby would normally do in the mornings before school. But we'll just get Kiara's hair dry now. Now, if your child's scalp is quite sensitive, it's not that they're a wuss. So I do love to help a lot of parents understand this fact about kids' hair, is the reason that the hair is curly is because the follicle is growing in a deformed way. So what happens is the strand of hair that once was perfectly symmetrical and circle is now growing out of kind of a wonky path up to the surface of the scalp. So it does create a higher, more heightened sense of sensitivity at the follicle. So when your child that has curly hair is whinging about their mother brushing their hair, or their dad, or whoever is in their life, there is real merit to their whinge. So make sure you're aware of that. I'm not telling my friend off, but it's just a good fact for everyone to be aware of. And the other thing is that when you do this hover diffusing, you're not pushing the diffuser right on their scalp, making it feel really quite warm. So you are assisting in creating less pain for your little one. So you can see I'm sometimes just raising out Kiara's hair to the side to get the diffuser a little bit closer. So that's also quite a good tip. Don't smile, Kiara. No smiling. So I'm only doing a very light kind of raise with the dryer because I do love the length of Kiara's hair. So if I spend a lot of time coming from the ends right up to the roots, we're going to lose a lot of Kiara's length because we'll build all of the curls up. And in fine hair, it really kind of hangs on to it and gets kind of, all the ends will get stuck up in the coil of the curl. So you can see how nicely her ringlets are just forming on their own. And even that side, I didn't really define any pieces like I did on these front bits. So you don't have to do all the detailed work to still get amazing results. Just using the flexi brush and raking through with your fingers is amazing. Now, for those of you who haven't yet, maybe you're new to our group, there's been a fair few new people join since we've advertised this session. At the moment, we do have some discounted prices online. And the reason we have such a great discount at the moment is we are in the middle of a rebrand. An annoying, unfortunate trademark issue. So you guys might as well benefit from our issue, and we just need to sell out our current stock. So if you are sitting on the fence, this month is literally your best time to shop. There is some really good prices and sales on some of our kits for the best price, and yeah, so make the most of it. We've had some really good reviews come in on our volume combs, hearing that people are getting some really great results. So here you can see, I'll just turn this. I've literally just got Kiara's hair just laying over the diffuser. So I'm not overheating her scalp or putting too much air up the curls. But I'm just safely drying them without making frizz. She's going to be so ready for bed after this. All this warm, lovely, relaxing air. So sometimes you can see I'm literally just grabbing just one solo finger and just trying to unfurl some of the curls that just get stuck together. Now, Abby, question, oh, is that too hot? Good question for you is, in the past, if you've put too much product in Kiara's hair, what do you do if that's happened? Just come and stand. You don't have to be on camera.
So we just wait until it's dry, and then Kiara usually enjoys clapping it out, so she'll use her hand to sort of scrunch it and clap at the ends between.
Yep.
And then usually that works pretty well.
Yep. And the reason you can tell that you put too much product is it just goes super crunchy.
It goes really, really crunchy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, with her fine hair, you do have finer hair as well. What are some things that maybe just don't work in her hair that you've learned?
Yeah, obviously too much product just weighs it down heaps. You don't ever brush it when it's dry just because it goes really frizzy really quickly.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Any tips for kids that swim with curly hair similar to Kiara's?
We kind of just let her swim however, but then after, if she's been in the pool constantly for a few days or for a full day, we usually get the drenching quench out when we're washing it after the pool.
Yeah.
And it just adds that little bit of moisture back in.
Yeah, perfect. Now, Sue, you've written, you were correct with your advice from the previous live. 10 cups of Uggs was great. The last wash day I used Power and was even better. And yes, those volume times are amazing. Oh, Sue, I'm so happy. I've had a few people message in their success after just using more product to gain better control and definition of their curls. But obviously, just hearing what Abby has said then, there's a balance between enough product and then on finer hair it being too much product. So it's all a balance. Now we're getting almost dry over here. I'll probably take this towel off your shoulders now, Kiara. You're doing really good, Kiara. Now, what's your favourite book to read at the moment, Kiara?
Pearls.
Ah, what a good kid. Who's your favourite character in Pearl's Curls?
Pearl.
Pearl
Yeah.
or Curlita?
Pearl.
Oh, you love Pearl. Do you think that she has similar hair to you, that it kind of sticks up and out and crazy sometimes? Yeah. Okay, Renee. Will diffusing the curls help with the morning wake-up frizz over the next few days? We struggle with the mornings and the frizz. Renee, we're going to go over that in a moment when I've got Kiara's hair dry. I'm going to ask Abby what her morning go-to routine is, not on a wash day. Because it's all easy to get this to look awesome, but we know that kids sleep in weird and wonderful positions. What does your sister sleep like, Kiara?
She does backflips in the bed.
She does backflips in the bed. There you go. So you possibly, Renee, may have a back flipper in bed. I hope you don't, because if you can somehow have a geisha doll of a daughter that sleeps perfect, it does assist the situation, but we're almost there, Kiara. go. Okay. Now I'm going to slide Kiara forward a little bit so that you can have a little look at these delicious ringlets that have just formed on their own because of the delicious curl that Kiara just naturally has. Now, if I had have spent a lot of time doing an up diffuse, all of these little light fine ends would have gotten sucked up and kind of tangled up into all of these lovely ringlets. So it would have made Kiara's hair look a lot shorter than what it really is. So one key tip if your hair is longer and it's finer is make sure you don't diffuse the up motion. Do a lot more over the top or bring the diffuser underneath like so, but not from the bottom up to the roots. Okay. Do kids need to use a hair cozy? Sue, yes. And we've got one here. Kiara wears hers most of the time. Some nights she just goes to sleep. But most of the time it stays on. So that is really quite good. And Renee, this will answer a few of your questions on kind of not creating the fuzz so extreme in the mornings. So this is one of our kids' cozies. So they are a bit smaller. This is the floral one, the daisy one. So put them on like a headband. So I get ready, Kiara. I'll pull out another tooth. So you're just going to slide it over like it's a headband and then get ready. This is weird doing it on camera. Whew, we got there in the end. We stuck a few curls still hanging out. And Abs, you were saying if you
fold it over the top.
You fold it over.
Yep.
And ready? We'll turn her around. Oh. So look at that. And that just gets the tails out of the way. Now, if your child has much longer hair than Kiara or thicker, you can kind of almost shimmy in the curls into the cozy and do the same thing. For me, I put a scrunchie on the end of mine just to hold all my curls in place. And then I can just pull this off in the morning and have minimal work to do. So, do you want to clap out your hair, Kiara? Show them how you would clap out the ends of your hair. Do you want to have your moment? No? No? Okay, that's okay. Just giving you the opportunity for your stardom moment. So I'm just going through and just lightly tussling the roots. And then instead of scrunching up like we didn't do with the diffuser, I am doing a gentle press and down. So I am always trying to elongate and not get her length tangled up in the rest of her hair. Now, Renee, they look amazing. Do you sell these? Yes, these are for sale on the website under the kids section. There's two different patterns. There's this one and then there's a non-floral for your less floral loving little children. So yes, there is one that is a little less floral. Some boys love flowers, some girls don't like flowers, so they're not one way or the other. Now, my granddaughter has tighter curls underneath. Is it okay to scrunch the top less curly layer while diffusing? Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a really good tip. So you could, with some of my clients who have really tight curls underneath, I get them to just lean the top forward and then diffuse like this so that they're only really catching those front, whoop, it's okay, They're only really catching those front curls that are less naturally ringleting. Now, Abby, if you can just come, you don't have to be on screen. But what do you tend to do in the mornings? School hairstyles. Kiara's an 8-year-old girl.
Yep.
They're a head lice at school, all those sorts of things. What are some things you normally do in the mornings?
So Kiara likes to have her hair up a lot of the time. So first to start with, we'll mist it over with the water. And then...
So step one is making sure... You can buy these on Amazon. And watch this. You can't even really see it. It's just a really light spray, isn't it, Kiara? It doesn't squirt like a pistol at all. This makes a huge difference in your refreshing your children in the morning.
Yep, so after the mist, for school, we usually only use the cruise control, just because it is a bit more flexible. And Kiara does like a ponytail, so quite a tight ponytail. So usually we'll mist it over, put the cruise control in while it's still wet, pull it back. Yeah. And then we just do...
Do you normally brush it?
Yeah.
Once it's wet?
Yeah. Once it's wet, we'll brush it out. Just get rid of all the frizz and
tangles
and tangles and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, pop it up in a ponytail and she's ready to go.
So, do you want to stand up for me, Kiara? And I'm just going to... Yeah, you can stand on the floor, baby. Okay, come over here. And you're going to twirl around in front of the camera. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. All right, I want you to just twirl around just slowly, and we're going to show off. So you can see on this side, we'll stop here, look back a bit. This side, I didn't do any defined work. Yet her hair has naturally gone into ringlets. And you can see all through this luscious back. Beautiful, beautiful. And then through the front here where I did a little bit more, maybe here, yeah, perfect. You can see I did a few little finger twirlings. It almost creates quite a clumpy curl. It works really well on some people, almost looks better the next day, but it does give good definition. But when you've got tighter curls, you don't have to work so hard to make sure you get the curl clumps and get the spirals like I have to do in wavy hair. Now, do kids need to use a hair cozy? Hi, Sue, they don't have to use a cozy, but if you can get them to, it's beneficial. Yes. My husband is online as me. So yes, cozies are really handy to use. You can use them even on your child if they have just straight hair, but they get really tangly. So give us a twirl, Kiara. Give us a shake. Shake your hair. Show us your model pose. I've seen you strike a pose before. Can you look in the camera? Your Auntie Bond's watching. Say hi, Auntie Bond. Nope. Okay. Cool. Well, there you have it. This is what we did to create quite a simple routine on fine, curly type 3 hair. On Kiara's hair, we use the Cruise Control as our foundation kind of priming product. And then we use the POW over the top. You can hold them. Here you go. Give you something to do. Da, 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 da. So we use those two products. Now, on a normal day, Kiara would use these two products. On a fancy day, she uses these two. Just to help you understand. And then we just really brush those through her hair. I didn't do a lot of scrunch work. I didn't even use the glove because I made sure Kiara's hair wasn't as soaking wet when I applied it. And
Jonina, you need to answer all the questions.
I need to answer all the questions. Great tips. Am I getting told? Who else's question? Okay, 1 second. Got to check that I've answered. Oh, it's not letting me scroll. Renee has one. It's not letting me. Will diffusing the curls help with the morning wake up? 1 second. It's just struggling when I press the slide. I think I've answered that one already, but I'll just double check. So the diffusing does help kind of set the curls. As Abby said, if she uses a POW, she gets more control of hold of the frizz. The oomph is more flexible hold, will give you slightly less control. So yes, if diffusing will help, the best thing to do is to try and protect it while she sleeps. That will give you greatest control of the frizz. And then just like Abby said, she just mists her hair over with some water and puts some of this guy in the mornings. And that will just aid in kind of regrouping the hair, putting some soft control in for school styling, whatever they're up to for the day. I hope that's answered your question, Renee. Don't know if he's happy with my response. But if you guys have any other questions, just keep commenting on this video thread. I will be answering questions as you guys watch this. So even if you're watching this after the live, please comment, ask questions, and let's thank our beautiful model, Kiara, for being with us tonight. Thanks for staying up late. And let us know any other questions you possibly have. Love to help you guys out. And yay for curly, beautiful individual hair. Thanks, guys. See ya.